Am I the asshole for asking my daughter to beg my husband to rethink the divorce? I'll admit it straight up, I could have handled things better with my husband. However, we've been married 24 years since we were both 20. He's now 44 and I'm turning 45 in October, and we have 3 kids, 17, 13, and 10. My husband had a career in a field that he's been in for 20 years. He was on the rise, but then his company got bought out by another. He started coming home from work aggravated because of the new set of work politics that he was dealing with. One thing led to another, and suddenly he was laid off. The strain it took made me unable to be at my mental best, so my job suffered and I was put on PIP at my data entry job. I was so down that when a supervisor asked me if I thought this job was working out, I just gave up and said no and quit. My husband became distant and one time even slammed his hand on a desk and cried that he felt like a loser. Even me losing my job did not get him to react in such a way. Finally, one night, even though he was in a bad mood, he approached me like he wanted to be intimate. That floored me and all the bitterness bubbled to the surface, and in the end, he was just giving me blank okay responses. When I asked him to leave because we needed a break, he refused, saying it was his house too and he did nothing wrong. So the next day, I took the kids and used an emergency credit card to pay for an extended stay hotel. That's when my husband started blowing up my phone, but I put him on Do Not Disturb for my own peace of mind. I ended up borrowing money so we could get a short-term apartment lease. My husband's tune changed when he realized I was getting loans, and even though I had cooled down some by the 1-month mark, he was now angry and we lapsed into a cold war. Then after 8 months, we began talking. By that point, he was no longer interviewing for jobs, but had instead decided to become an independent consultant, and business was good. I decided to surprise him one day by sneaking into the house's kitchen and making his favorite meal. He coldly told me to leave and said I was so eager to leave back then. After that, he stopped speaking to me and filed for divorce. I was flabbergasted because we had been going to family therapy and he said ideally the family should stay together, but now he's calling me a traitor and saying he can never trust me again. When again, he's the one that acknowledged he was being distant. We went from planning to sit by each other at our daughter's dance competition to him only speaking to me via lawyers. My oldest understands the divorce more than her siblings, and she's even told me that she's cried over us splitting up. I told her I was upset as well, and her dad was being cold out of revenge. I was desperate and asked my daughter that the next time she saw her dad to please beg on behalf of the mother of his kids to rethink the divorce. He was throwing away decades in a family when I wanted to work things out. After my daughter did that, my husband said I was a wretched manipulator. So, am I the asshole?